Okay, so I just got done watching the latest episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5, and it's something where not much really happens in the episode. Like, there's some interesting things that do happen, but this is kind of one of them ones that probably don't need a review because it's kind of self-explanatory in the episode. There's nothing really to delve into. So we might as well start off. First up, we've got the rioting. I think it's Shinji, his name is, the guy that's really, like, orchestrating all. He's kind of annoying me a bit now. Like, I know he's got his goals. He wants to riot. He wants the tops and commons to sort of be on equal footing because the tops have got so much more than the commons. But they're just bloody smashing stuff up. Kids are crying, Christ to go and save people. It's just hassle. Rioting, that doesn't really get you anywhere most of the time. It's just hassle. In the aftermath of Yuzu getting kidnapped, Sora decides that he's going to go save Yuzu, and the ninja guy, while he's a bit like battle damaged, even Sora's got like all like scratches and stuff on the face where he got by Sergey. Them two decide to go and save Yuzu. Sawatari says, why does he have to stay and protect Reira? And he gets basically blagged into thinking that, well, the reason you need to save Reira is because obviously only the best person will be able to look after Reggie's brother. And he's like, I guess you're right. I am the best person, aren't I? I'm next in line. Something which is actually quite funny. If you've ever seen a film called Mouse Hunt, they're trying to sell this house and he goes up to the auctioneer and he's like, don't stop for anything, and all this shit happens in the auction, but the guy's still going like 50,000, 60,000, and this tournament kind of reminds me of that because the announcer's like, can we really continue this tournament with all the shit? There's an intergalactic war going on all around them. Nobody's in the stadium apart from a couple of the tops people. And she's like, oh, we're live again? Alright, now we're back. And yeah, here we go. So it was meant to be Sergey versus Yugioh, which I was actually kind of interested to see because obviously Sergey defeated Yuzu. So seeing Sergey versus Yugioh after he was like annoyed by this, that'd have been really cool, but we didn't get that. Instead we got Sergey versus Jack, which is arguably just as good. When he's heading to the duel, he shows that he's good guy Jack because the little kid says, do you remember me? You gave me this card and I thought that card was a piece of shit and you were saying that I was a piece of shit, but then I met Yuya and you told me that there's like use in every single card, so that makes me feel less of a piece of shit. And then Jack just turns to him and says, yes, there's purposes for every single individual card as well. There are purposes for all people. Tell that to Yuya. It just shows that Jack's a nice guy, even though he's a bit of a prick. And he's kind of smug in this universe, like he's always like this, but I'm guessing he's just putting on a facade, maybe. He's a nice guy. So, Jack versus Sergey, it starts off. Jack first turn summons his Scarlight Red Dragon Archfiend, I think it's called. And I'm not too bothered about it being summoned on its first turn because it seemed pretty easy to get out. He only had to summon one of his tuners, special summon another one, and he got it straight out. Sergey gets out two of his Earthbound monsters again. He gets the Fusion one and the Synchro one. So something happens towards the end of this duel. Sergey actually managed to destroy Scarlight Red Dragon Archfiend, and he's got two monsters on the field that can attack directly. And if he attacks directly, he'd have won. And the only reason that Jack survives is because he grabs an action card, which lets him survive for however much reason, for whatever it was. Someone in the crowd or one of the commentators says Jack would have lost if it wasn't for that action card. He was saved by an action card. So I don't know how much you can go on that. Like, if you were about to lose and it was for an action card that you saved yourself, that's kind of like you would have technically lost that duel, because action cards are basically the Aspals. They're worse than Shining Draws in my opinion, because they're just where the plot needs them to be convenient, so you can sort of get out of a situation. So I didn't like that, really. Jack should have been able to rely on his own ability with his own cards. This new action dueling is new, so not good. So Sergey plays an interesting card, which I thought was a little bit too weird. It's kind of like, you don't even need to play the game anymore. You don't have to play Yu-Gi-Oh! You just keep doing this. So the card is, every time you pick up an action card, you can deal 300 points of damage to your opponent. So Jack says that all I have to do is go faster than you, because this applies for me as well. I just keep picking up the action cards, then you'll take the damage instead. Simple. But Sergey, he's obviously got a little ace up his sleeve. He transforms into like this giant like robotic thing, which is fused with his duel runner, a bit like how Primo does it in Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. So it's actually quite cool the way he's doing it, because he's sort of like doing all this to go faster, and that was pretty sick. As well, his Scouter is showing him where all the action cards are on the field, so it's super unfair, but I think Jack's going to win anyway. So yeah, that's pretty much where I think it's going to go. Jack is going to somehow be able to get faster than Sergey somehow and be able to get these action cards, or maybe he's going to destroy the card just in time for him to win the duel. I can't see Jack losing because that would be weird. We need Yuya to defeat Jack because he's already lost to him once. But why they would duel again, I'm not sure. Someone said something interesting in the comment section, which I'll check later. Everyone who's wondering where Yugioh and Yuri have gone, apparently they've gone to the Xyz dimension. And apparently they're going to meet Alexis Rhodes and Kite Tenjo in that dimension. So they're going to be a part of the story, just like how Jack and Crow was in this one. So I think it's really interesting that we get to see both Zexal characters, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX characters and Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's characters. The only one we haven't had is the original series, so Maybe, what universe haven't we been to yet? The Fusion universe. Who knows? But yeah, that was pretty much the episode. As you can see, not too much happened in that kind of terms. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought in the comment section below. Don't forget to leave a like, favourite and subscribe, and you can see my shoulder. And yeah, thanks a lot for watching. Now, if you enjoyed that review, I've got a whole channel of other reviews you can watch if you're interested in those as well. Just use the link in the description, you can follow them over there.